Welcome to Film Riot Mondays. I'm Ryan. Let's answer some questions. How would one go about writing a script for a first-person film? As the audience would be the main character in the film, would the main character in the script be addressed as we? I don't think I've ever seen a first-person film where the main character, which are the eyes that we're looking through, was the audience. We're just looking through a character's eyes. Like with Hardcore Henry, Henry was the lead character that we were seeing everything through, so I would just be referencing Henry. So I would probably write it just like I would write any other film, just obviously with the idea that we are first-person the entire time. What's a problem you deal with on set every time you film? Getting everything done in time. We're always very low budget, and I'm usually trying to push more ambitious than we probably should. So trying to get everything done is always a big issue, and often has me shifting my ideas to condense things and figure out ways to do things quicker on the day to try to make our days. Chainsaw was a really good example of that. UFO Yeah was a huge example of that because everything went wrong. So just to make our day, I really had to rethink the entire piece as a whole. I don't think anything in that short film remains to what was my original idea. It became something else almost entirely. Autofocus, is it really used? I've only ever been told to go manual. Live and die manual. Have I died in vain? There's definitely scenarios that you would use autofocus, but not very many. If you have a big crew and you have a camera department, you're not using autofocus ever. You have an AC who's pulling focus manually. But if you are on something like a Ronin or a Movi and you're a very small crew and there is no AC and you don't have wireless follow focus, a camera that has autofocus is going to be a huge help. We actually did that for UFO Yeah. And then if you're a vlogger or something like that where you're not behind the camera, there's no one behind the camera and you're moving around, a lot of vloggers use autofocus and that is a huge help. But for the most part, when you're talking about filmmaking, there are not very many scenarios where you would actually use autofocus, at least not that I would, other than putting it on a rig like a Movi or a Ronin. I can't really think of another scenario that I would actually use it. I don't want the camera deciding where the audience's focus should be. And that depth of field, where you're throwing that, is a huge part of how you're drawing your audience's attention and what they're thinking in any given moment. Last question, cheap camera with expensive lens or expensive camera with cheap lens? I think that's a really difficult question to answer because it really does depend on the type of camera we're talking about. I mean, if you're talking about an extremely cheap home video type camera, there's no lens that you're gonna throw on that's really gonna salvage it. But I have seen people throw on a specific type lens with an iPhone and get some pretty great images. I think when you're first starting out, a lot of people don't realize how important the lens really is, way more than the camera. What's really gonna dial in the end result and the character of your image is the lens. Obviously, lighting and everything that goes into the cinematography and color grading is a huge aspect of that, but the lens really is one of the major components for me. Ghost House is a great example of that. I knew that we needed anamorphic lenses to get the final look and feel that I really wanted, so way more important than what camera we were shooting on was the lens. We shot on the Alexa Mini, but I would have been happy to shift to a Red or one of the cinema cameras from Canon, as long as I was able to use the anamorphic lens, because I knew that is what was really going to dial in the look that I wanted. So more often than not, I would say pretty much every time out of the gate, more important than the camera that I'm using are the lenses. The problem is that really good cinema lenses are like $5,000 a piece and above. What we own are Rokinon lenses, which are really low-cost cinema lenses, which are great for the day-to-day, just normal FilmRiot type stuff that we do. But when I'm going to more of a larger project, like a short film or client gig that we do every now and again, I'm always renting lenses to make sure we're getting the best image possible. So before I upgrade from a C300 to an Alexa, I'm going for a lens. So more often than not, I would definitely say lens. But again, that really depends on what we're talking about when it comes to the camera. Working in the film industry is an exciting and rewarding experience. If you know you want to be a part of it, but you don't know where to begin, you should check out Full Sail University. Full Sail's film bachelor degree program immerses you in the world of filmmaking from every angle. You'll gain hands-on experience while learning what it's like to work on a film from start to finish, giving you a feel for the role each crew member plays in production. The digital cinematography online degree program merges the artistic concepts of traditional filmmaking with the technical tools used in everything from documentary filmmaking to commercial production and online video. Or maybe you already have film experience and are ready ready to take those skills to the next level. You could build a graduate level portfolio while perfecting your technique in the film graduate degree program. Full Sail grads have gone on to work on films and TV shows like Doctor Strange, Star Trek Beyond, Captain America Civil War, The Walking Dead, just to name a few. If you want to find out more about these programs and how to get started, visit fullsail.edu/FilmRiot.
Logo.
So that's it for today, which means it's time for my suggestion of the week. This is a short film called Snakebite, which you can find in the notes below. And until next time, don't forget to write, shoot, edit, repeat.